In the bustling metropolis of Lagos, where the pulse of ambition beats in sync with the city's chaotic rhythm, live the descendants of the legendary warrior, Oba Eko. For centuries, their lineage, the Agboola clan, had been the city's bedrock, their unity a testament to their forefathers' wisdom. But time, with its relentless tide, had eroded their solidarity, and the once unbreakable clan was now a collection of splintered factions, each vying for a slice of the city's lucrative real estate. At the heart of the conflict were two cousins, Connor and Femi. Connor, a shrewd businessman with a penchant for high-tech gadgets and aggressive takeovers, led the Tech Titans, a faction focused on transforming the city's landscape with modern skyscrapers and smart home complexes. Femi, a charismatic community leader with a deep reverence for tradition, headed the Heritage Keepers, who sought to preserve the city's cultural landmarks and green spaces, believing that the city's soul lay in its past. The animosity between them was a wildfire, fueled by years of unresolved grievances and a shared history of betrayal. It all began with a plot of land, a sacred grove where Oba Eko was said to have made his final stand. Both factions laid claim to it, Connor seeing it as the perfect location for a state-of-the-art tech hub, and Femi insisting it be preserved as a cultural heritage site. The dispute had escalated from heated arguments at clan meetings to legal battles and, eventually, a full-blown war of sabotage and corporate espionage. One evening, as the city lights twinkled like a million fallen stars, a mysterious old woman, wrapped in a vibrant Ankara cloth, appeared at the doorstep of both Connor and Femi. She introduced herself as Aya Olekara, a name that echoed through the clan's history as a symbol of unity and wisdom. "The spirit of Oba Eko weeps," she said, her voice a low, resonant hum. "Your disunity has awakened a great evil, a spirit of discord that feeds on your hatred. It will consume you all if you do not mend your broken bonds." Both cousins dismissed her as a crazy old woman. Connor, engrossed in a virtual reality presentation of his new tech hub, scoffed, "The only evil I see is your outdated beliefs. Progress, not superstition, is the future." Femi, surrounded by his followers, declared, "We are united in our cause to protect our heritage. We need no old woman to tell us what is right." Aya Olekara simply smiled, a sad, knowing look in her eyes. "The choice is yours," she said, before vanishing into the night. The next day, a series of catastrophic events rocked the city. The Agboola Tech Titan servers were hit by a massive cyber attack, wiping out years of architectural plans and financial data. Simultaneously, the Heritage Keepers' prized cultural center, a beautifully restored colonial building, was engulfed in flames. Panic spread like a virus through the city, and the finger-pointing began immediately. Connor's faction accused Femi's of arson, citing a recent protest at the cultural center. Femi's faction retaliated, accusing Connor's of the cyber attack, claiming they had the technical know-how to pull it off. The city, once a canvas of dreams, was now a battleground of accusations and counter-accusations. The media, ever hungry for drama, fanned the flames, sensationalizing the conflict and turning the cousins into bitter rivals on a national stage. The spirit of discord, a shadowy entity that fed on their animosity, grew stronger. It whispered doubts into Connor's ear, making him question the loyalty of his closest allies. It sowed seeds of paranoia in Femi's mind, convincing him that Connor's every move was a calculated betrayal. The clan, once a formidable force, was now a house of cards, teetering on the brink of collapse. In the midst of the chaos, a young intern named Eo, a quiet and observant young man who worked for both factions, began to notice a pattern. He realized that the attacks were not random. They were orchestrated to escalate the conflict, to ensure that the two factions would never find common ground. He recalled the old woman's words, her warning about a spirit of discord. He knew he had to act, but how could he, a mere intern, stand up to two powerful and warring factions, he found his courage in a tattered old book, A History of the Agbula Clan, which he had found in the library of the Bant Cultural Center. The book spoke of Oba Eko's final words: "Unity is our shield, discord is our sword." It described the ritual of reconciliation, a ceremony that could only be performed by the clan leaders, and only in the sacred grove. The ritual required them to bury their grievances in a symbolic pot and plant a new tree of unity in its place. Eo, with a heart pounding like a drum, took the book to Connor and Femi. He showed them the passages, pleading with them to heed the ancient wisdom. Connor, his face gaunt from lack of sleep, looked at the charred pages and saw a reflection of his own burnt ambition. Femi, his eyes filled with the grief of a lost heritage, saw a glimmer of hope in the words. Reluctantly, they agreed to meet at the sacred grove. The air was thick with tension, the silence punctuated by the rustle of leaves and the distant hum of the city. As they stood face to face, surrounded by the spirits of their ancestors, Aya Olakara appeared again, her presence a calming balm on their troubled souls. "The spirit of discord is here," she said, pointing to a swirling vortex of shadows in the center of the grove. "It is the sum of your hatred, your pride, and your greed. It will not be defeated by force, but by a force greater than its own, the power of your unity." Connor and Femi, for the first time in years, looked at each other not as rivals, but as family. They saw the pain in each other's eyes, the shared burden of their legacy. They remembered the times they had played together as children, the promises they had made to their parents, and the dream of a united clan. They began the ritual, each of them digging a hole and placing a symbolic item of their grievances inside. Connor, with a heavy heart, buried a blueprint of his tech hub, acknowledging that his ambition had come at the cost of his family. Femi, with a tear in his eye, buried a broken piece of a statue from the cultural center, a symbol of his grief and his resistance to change. As they planted the new tree of unity, the shadows in the vortex began to dissipate. The air, once heavy with animosity, was now filled with a sense of peace and reconciliation. The tree, a young Iroko sapling, stood tall and proud, its roots reaching deep into the soil, its branches reaching for the sky, a testament to their newfound unity. In the days that followed, the Agbula clan, once a fractured entity, began to heal. Connor and Femi, now working together, decided to build the new tech hub around the sacred grove, creating a modern complex that respected the city's history. The cultural center was rebuilt, with Femi at the helm, and it became a hub for cultural exchange and community development. The story of Connor and Femi became a modern folktale, a cautionary tale of the dangers of disunity and the redemptive power of reconciliation. The city of Lagos, once a battleground, was now a symbol of unity. A testament to the fact that progress and tradition, modernity and heritage could coexist, bound together by the unbreakable thread of a shared legacy. And in the heart of it all, the Iroko tree stood as a silent sentinel, its leaves whispering the timeless wisdom of Aya Olakara. Disunity is a shadow that can only be chased away by the light of a united front.